Hey, hey. That was the wrong thing I switched to. I'm definitely on top of this. I definitely know what I'm doing. If the thumbnail is indicative of anything, it shows that I very clearly am on top of my VTubing stuff and am not at all scrambling. Oh god. That garlic salt's coming back. I'm sorry, I just had to cough my lungs out. No, yeah. The garlic and granulated onion from my homemade Chex Mix. Because who doesn't love homemade Chex Mix? It's good. Yeah, it was showed to me by my co-worker who put a number of things in their Chex Mix, and they gave me some and was like, hey, try this. And I was like, oh my god, this is great. What's in there? They're like, I don't remember. I'm like, oh. They had told me some sort of garlic salt and garlic pepper. Is that it? Some sort of onion powder. And then, God, what else was it? I want to say some cinnamon and maybe some, like, pumpkin spice? No, it wasn't pumpkin spice. I think some cinnamon, though. But I forgot to put cinnamon in mine. And mine also, excuse me. Mine also doesn't have the, I call it Chex Mix, but it's like, okay, it's Chex and pretzels. And that's it. It doesn't have any of the... What else is in Chex Mix? Because I was at the store and I was trying to buy Chex Mix, and then I was trying to buy Chex Mix, and then the problem is they had the two types were pizza flavored Chex Mix, which I didn't know was a thing. So that was interesting. And then extra cheese flavored Chex Mix, but I'm like, what are the components of regular Chex Mix? Because I was trying to make my own, and so but you know, if I can buy a giant thing of Chex Mix, that'll save me time. Although I don't actually know if it would have saved me money. Because would it be cheaper to buy, like, off-brand Chex, off-brand pretzels, off-brand whatever the other stuff is? Okay, what is in Chex Mix? No, I don't want to use Gemini. Original Chex Party Mix recipe was in 1952, and the commercial version was in 1985. Okay, tell me, what are the components in Chex Mix? Those are all the different flavor profiles. No, just give me... Hey, Ran! Do you know what is in Chex Mix? Because I was looking at the store, and I could not find... Alright, traditional Chex Mix has... Okay, this is the actual ingredients, which is not what I'm going for. I'm not good. It's like cornmeal, whole wheat, enriched flour, vegetable oil. No. I want to, like, pretzel, cheese it. I know they said there's some sort of, like, breadstick pretzel. Some sort of, like, breadstick pretzel, and then... Oh, paprika. Maybe I should put paprika in my Chex Mix then. Next time. Okay, wait. Check cereal, hard breadsticks, pretzels, nuts, or bagel bites. Wait, bagel bites? How would they put bagel bites in... What the heck? Huh. Well, regardless, I tried to make my own, and I have a feeling it would be cheaper, but ultimately it's just like different forms of bready things, and then, Chex and pretzels, and then I assume some sort of different spices. You like fries with paprika. I've never had that. That sounds good though, considering like, well, potatoes are like a great base for anything. Like, potatoes are a great base for butter. Butter, salt, pepper, and then you have like fried potatoes, dip in vinegar, you can dip in the ketchup is the traditional, you can dip it in mustard, you can dip them in ranch, you can dip them in honey mustard. I've yet to try it, but I do want to try fries on pizza. I know that's like a cursed one, but I have to. I have to at some point. And if I liked fish, I would definitely try like sushi pizza. I gotta know. I gotta know. Maybe fries on pizza taste like... Because I've had like pizza flavored chips before, but I don't know. Pizza is such a broad flavor that I don't feel like it's a valid fried tofu on pizza, you mean? Fried tofu on pizza? I wonder, actually. Because, you know, tofu's typically like a protein or like a meat substitute. So then, how would that work? Instead of my pepperonis, I have tofu? I think that could be nice. It really depends on what else you're doing with it. Because, like, when we make homemade pizzas at my house, we do pizza, like, pizza with, tons of stuff, you know? Onions, peppers, olives, asparagus, cheese, another layer of cheese, a different type of cheese, 4 different types of cheese, a 5th type of cheese, a bit more cheese. No, but you cover it in everything, and I feel like, and even though I don't like it, we do ones that are like shrimp, ones with anchovies, the whole schmagoigle, the whole shebang, as it were. And I imagine that's good. Because again, it's just more sources of, like, protein. And that's another thing. The thing I like about pizza is when pizza, hits multiple, like, food groups, basically. So, you know, if I could put rice on pizza, I mean, nothing's stopping me. In theory, I could. And, like, my favorite food type is a thing that's just, like, a collection. So that's why, like, bibimbap I love. It's just a bowl of rice and egg and meat. Specifically, I love, like, bulgogi beef. Onions and, well, like, green onions. Oh my god. Kimchi. I love kimchi in my bibimbap. There's a bibimbap place near here that I have not gone to in a while, and I would love to go to again. Maybe I should hit up Misa and be like, hey, you wanna go? You wanna go get bibimbap? You wanna go get bibimbap? The thing is, though, it's a really popular place. And so, like, trying to find time when it's not bustling is difficult, especially because it's near a big work hub. And so you get tons of people who come from their lunch break and then go to this tiny bibimbap place that can only seat 20 people maybe. And so it's very small, can barely seat anyone. Tons of people are going there, but it just makes me want it more. If I go there early in the morning, I could definitely snag a spot. But it's also like a 30 to 40 minute drive away, and that it's hard for me to justify going anywhere like really early in the morning if it's just like to get breakfast. And it's like, yes, if it's really good, I know. Like, there's a place that that my mom absolutely loves. That's a breakfast place that's super popular. And so every Mother's Day, or generally her birthday too, we'll go to this place and it'll always be a hit for her. And it's just like breakfast food, just like generic American breakfast food. But it's done really well, that's true. But it is not worth the drive or the wait, in my opinion. I am completely content with just eating breakfast. That's just a bowl of cereal. And the thing is, if I'm going out somewhere, it generally feels like... Oh my god, is it almost Mother's Day? What day is Mother's Day? Uh-oh. What day is Mother's Day 2025? May 11th is on a Sunday. Okay, that's good to know. You can take her out to a nice restaurant, perhaps? I have a feeling if we do something, we'll go to that same breakfast place. Less than a month. It's like 3 weeks away. Alright, the chat is so delayed. I don't know why it's delayed like 30 seconds. Or like... I wonder if there's a way to limit that latency. Because I don't know if it's just a chat thing or if it's like a... Because I don't have that sort of problem on Twitch. It's just on YouTube. So I don't know. Well, regardless, I'm sure eventually it'll work out. It could also be an internet issue thing, because I don't use direct connection. I use... I use a little adapter that is plugged into the back of my computer. And it's okay. Like, it does the job, clearly. I'm able to stream with it, so that's something. But it could definitely be better if I had direct connection, obviously. But ease what it is. I can live with it. Okay. So what I wanted to do today, after killing a good 17 minutes, 18 minutes, so there was a number of things that were just like sort of research papers and stuff I wanted to look at. But the thing that made me think like I want to do like a STEM day was this video popped up on my YouTube that is called Donald Duck in Mathmagic Land, and it's from 1959. Okay, it's this. Yeah, let me go ahead and pause the Dying Light music and switch on over. Bloop. Okay, here we go. And so I have no idea what this is, but his description was like, this is an old Disney cartoon explaining how math, geometry, and music is in everything, including the golden ratio, phi, the pentagram, old world architecture, etc. So let's go ahead and check this out, because that was my goal of just like this, and then I also have some like research papers and we can maybe look at. I don't know. Let's see if this is interesting at all. Analyze math rock. If you send me some math rock, I'm down. And cease and desist. I can eat my homemade Chex Mix here while I watch. Thank God I'm not monetized, so I can get away with this. I'm a genius. Do this before you can make any money off of it.
Strange. That's an odd-looking creature.
Alright, the subtitles don't work with Donald Duck. It's good to know. I love in the background, look at these trees.
What kind of a crazy place is this?
Oh my god, that's so fun. Like everything along all the trees. I'm very curious. This stuff. Oh yeah, look at like it's little X's on the flowers. Square roots.
Pi is equal to 3.1415926535897447, etc., etc., etc.
That's mildly unnerving.
Hello, Don.
Oh, look it. It's like, my first thought is connecting it like chemistry. Like what's the word? Like molecules. I can't believe I forgot that. Like molecules connecting. That's so fun. You have like these sharp shapes. Of course, you just have a bunch of numbers. Square roots makes me so happy.
Donald,
That's me. Where am I?
Mathmagic Land.
Mathmagic land? Never heard of it.
It's the land of great adventure.
Well, who are you?
Also, I just realized that these trees are like a sigh.
I'm a spirit, the true spirit of adventure.
That's for me. What's next?
Hold on, let me go back to that.
Spirit of adventure.
That's for me.
You have literal divisions or like square root signs. You have little pluses. Oh my god, this is so fun.
What's next?
A journey through the wonderland.
You have
of
rulers for the trees.
Mathematics? That's for all kids.
eggheads. Now hold on, Donald. You like music, don't you?
Yeah?
Well, without eggheads, there would be no music.
He's right.
Come on. Let's go to ancient Greece, to the time of Pythagoras, the master egghead of them all, father of mathematics and music.
Mathematics and music?
Ah, you'll find mathematics in the darndest places.
I love this. So this is how they used to, this I find so cool. How they used to make triangles is by relating a bunch of different squares. I find that so cool just because we've streamlined that process an incredible amount. You know, sine, cosine, etc. Future video pending. And it's just cool because you could, in theory, set up all these squares and get those same sort of results. And I don't know. I love that.
Watch. First, we'll need a string. Stretch it good and tight. Plunk it. Now divide in half. Plunk again. You see?
It's
the
doing
same
waves.
note, one octave higher. Now divide the next section. And the next. Pythagoras discovered the octave had a ratio of 2 to 1. With simple fractions, he got this. And from this harmony in numbers developed the musical scale of today.
So they say Pythagoras. I am questioning that just because. So it's actually a thing where the school of Pythagoras is known to have taken credit for a lot of stuff that they might not have done. Because if I recall, I want to say that the Pythagorean theorem existed long before Pythagoras was around. And it was that the school of Pythagoras ended up taking credit for it, as well as other things. And we attribute a lot of mathematics to Pythagoras when, again, it was like a school, and so you could have, in the same way that it's like you would have a grad student find a cure for cancer. Is the grad student going to get the credit? No, the overseeing what is the not the lead author, the grad student would be the lead author, the I'm blanking, but like the overseeing author, the professor, the PI or whatever who oversaw the study would probably get credit for it. In today's world that might be a bit different, but that would kind of be the equivalent.
I got it. You do find mathematics in the darndest places.
You can imagine how excited Pythagoras was when he shared his findings with his pals, a fraternity of eggheads, known as the Pythagoreans. They used to meet in secret to discuss their mathematical discoveries. Only members were allowed to attend. They had a secret emblem, the pentagram.
Is that true? That I just didn't know.
Let's see what the topic is for today.
Guys.
Going on.
It's a jam session.
Give me something with a beat.
Shh.
Is this the origins of math rock?
So from these eggheads, the Pythagoreans, with their mathematical formula,
That man
the basis
is
of our music
naked.
of today.
Okay. Oh, and then we're just in live footage. Okay. Yeah, technically, yes, it is math rock. Although it's now math classical. So I'm enjoying this, but can we get back to the mathematics? I know technically this is mathematics, but I'm like, I get it. Music. Bro, I see you're not wearing any pants.
Potato boy, put it down. Well, I'll be a postgraduate kid.
It was our old friend Pythagoras who discovered that the pentagram was full of mathematics.
The magic in math rock is using complex structures and compasses on purpose. Oh. Alright, after we finish this, let's go ahead and analyze some math rock then. Because, yeah, you've told me about it before, and I've never really gotten super in-depth about it. And so it could be fun. Could be fun to explore.
Magic. The two shorter lines combined exactly equal the third. And this line shows the magic proportions of the famous golden section. The second and third lines exactly equal the fourth. Once again, we have the golden section. But this is only the beginning. Hidden within the pentagram is a secret for creating a golden rectangle, which the Greeks admired for its beautiful proportions and magic qualities. The star contains the golden rectangle many times over.
Man, geometry's so cool.
It's a most remarkable shape. It can mathematically reproduce itself indefinitely. All these rectangles have exactly the same proportions. This figure also contains a magic spiral that repeats the proportions of the golden section into infinity. To the Greeks, the golden rectangle represented a mathematical law of beauty. We find it in their classical architecture.
National Geographic.
Parthenon, perhaps one
Oh,
of the most famous
that
of
too.
early Greek buildings, contains many golden rectangles.
This is all the people who say that math is just not creative. It's just, oh, you just plug and play. This is a perfect video to explain why that is not the case. Like, math is full of creativity. And it can be really draining when people come to me and be like, okay, but you can just have AI do all this. Math is dumb. You just plug in equations. Why? We just believe there's equations. And you just plug in stuff. It's exhausting. I mean, especially when it's something that you like, you care about. It can be draining. And yeah. So, math is more creative than we give it credit for. Bloop.
These same golden proportions are also found in their sculpture. In the centuries that followed, the golden rectangle dominated the idea of beauty in architecture throughout the Western world. The Cathedral of Notre Dame is an outstanding example.
Gothic architecture, in general, amazing. Arches are so pretty.
The Renaissance painters knew this secret well. Today, the golden rectangle is very much a part of our modern world. Modern painters have rediscovered the magic of these proportions. Indeed, this ideal proportion is to be found in life itself.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is mathematics. I like mathematical figures like that.
Donald.
Get me to it.
No.
Ideal proportion.
Not quite.
Yeah, that's why all those... Leonardo, yeah, was also a mathematician. Exactly. That's why you get so many of those fun designs and whatnot. Stretch.
No, I'm afraid not. Well, we can't all be mathematically perfect.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I do like to do it.
Now that you're all pent up in a pentagon, let's see how nature uses this same mathematical form. The petunia. The star jasmine.
Wait, is that why a petunia is called that? Because penta? I had never considered this.
The wax flower.
Oh, I'm leaning too back. My model doesn't see me.
Pythagorean Society of the Star. All nature's works have a mathematical logic, and her patterns are limitless.
You already established this. Oh, no. Oh! Okay, are they just using this examples, or is some of that true?
The golden section are often found in the spirals of nature's designs.
I didn't know a bunch of this. This is cool. Man, geometry's awesome.
profusion of mathematical forms brings to mind the words of Pythagoras. Everything is
I
arranged
like
according to
triangles.
number and mathematical shape.
Oh.
Yes, there's mathematics in music, in art, in just about everything. And as the Greeks had guessed, the rules are always the same.
Okay, this was made in 1959, but yes, in Euclidean distances, this is true. When is the episode where Donald Duck goes to abstract algebra land?
Well, Donald, did you enjoy your geometrical journey?
Gee, Mr. Spirit, there's a lot more to mathematics than 2 times 2.
That's right, Donald. And you can find mathematics in games, too.
Games?
Oh boy, we're gonna talk
Let's
about
begin
Doom.
with a game that's played on squares.
Checkers?
No, chess.
Chess?
A mathematical contest between two minds. It's a game that has been enjoyed for centuries by kings and commoners. In fact, Lewis Carroll, a famous mathematician with a literary mind, used chess as a setting for his classic tale, Through the Looking Glass. Alice found herself face to face with a none too friendly group of chess pieces.
Good heavens, what's this?
Upon my soul, it appears to be a lost pawn.
I'm no pawn. I'm Donald Duck.
He says he's Donald Duck.
Preposterous.
Or it could be an Alice.
Alice?
No, no, no. It's a lost pawn.
Lost pawn? Stop that pawn!
Mr. Spirit!
Poor Donald. He didn't sign up for any of this. He was just trying to go shoot some mathematical birds.
Phew, that was close.
Now you can look at this game from a safer perspective. Chess is a game of calculated strategy, and since the board is geometrical, the moves are mathematical.
This is giving me PTSD to my chess game I played on stream.
Checkmate, and the game is over.
That's very interesting. What's next?
Practically all games are played on geometrical areas. The baseball field is a diamond.
Oh, boy.
And without mathematics, we couldn't even keep score.
I mean... That was an excellent place to pause. I think that needs to be a meme template. Just putting it out there. Yeah. It- you know, it makes the specification that like all games are played on a geometric surface, but no, I think it's just by default every surface is a geometric surface. Because every surface is a shape of some sort. At least, you know, again, in 3D land, in 3D physical land, in our specific world. But I need to get a screenshot of this real quick. Let's just... And save that for later, because you never know when that sort of thing is useful. Alright, let's keep going.
Football is played on a rectangle divided by yard lines. Basketball is a game of circles, spheres, and rectangles. Even hopscotch has its multiple squares.
What's next? Get it erase?
No, a mathematical game played on a field of 2 perfect squares, using 3 perfect spheres, and a lot of diamonds. In other words, billiards.
Oh boy! That's for me!
You know the game, don't you, Donald?
Of course! The cue ball has to hit the other 2 balls. Like this.
Now let's see how an expert at 3-cushion billiards uses his head.
3 cushion?
Yes, the cue ball not only has to hit both the other balls, but it must contact at least 3 cushions before it hits the final ball. One, 2, 3.
I have no idea how someone would score in this game. The 50s was a crazy time, and this is the only reason why.
It takes an expert to make several shots in succession. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Wow! That was a lucky shot.
Luck? No, it's skill. For this game, you have to know all the angles.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's amazing! How does he do it?
First, there's technique.
How long are
Strike
we
the
going to
cue ball
spend?
so it'll spin backwards. Hitting the ball on the right side will make it hug the rail. These trick shots take a lot of practice.
I love that we're spending so much time on...
1, 2, 3.
We're spending so much time on this game of billiards.
Oh, this game takes precise calculation. He figures out each shot in his head. He could play it like this, but it calls for quite a bit of luck. There is a better choice. For this, he uses the diamond markings on the rail as a mathematical guide. First, he figures the natural angle for hitting the object balls. And then he finds that his cue ball must bounce off the number 3 diamond.
Sometimes have
Next,
trouble
he
with
gets
chain
ready for the shot,
reactions.
and he needs a number for his cue position.
Yeah.
This calls for a different set of numbers.
Very confusing, isn't it?
I've never
You get the
played
hang
it.
of
I've never played it. But yeah, I would probably have a similar problem. Just because, like, it does take a lot of skill. I mean, they're even saying as much in the video. But like, I'm also not the most I'm not the best when it comes to, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm bad with my hands. They're always shaking. They're very unsteady. It's unfortunate, but such games then do not fit my choice.
You see, the Q position is 4.
Sorry, I had to mute. Alright,
Now
mute for a
simple
second,
subtraction.
because
3 from 4 is 1. So if he shoots for the first diamond, he should make it. It's called playing the diamond system. Natural angle 2. Q position 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. 2 from 3.5 is 1.5. So shoot halfway between the first and second diamonds.
that's really cool.
There's nothing to it. Let me try. Let's see now. If I hit it here, it'll bounce there and go here. If I hit it here, 4.5 minus 3, 3.5 plus 4 and 2.
No, Donald. There's no guesswork in mathematics. It's quite simple. Natural angle for the hit. 2. Q position.
I have to rewatch that.
Let's see now. If I hit it here, it'll bounce there and go here. If I hit it here, 4.5 minus 3, 3.5 plus 4 added to 2, divided into 2. I guess I should shoot about here.
No, Donald. There's no guesswork to mathematics. It's quite simple. Natural angle for the hit. 2. Q position.
It's so funny to me.
1.5.
I need to watch it one more time.
If I hit it here, it'll bounce there and go here. If I hit it here, 4.5 minus 3, 3.5 plus 4 added to 2,
No, there's no guesswork to mathematics. It's quite simple. Natural angle for the hit.
It's so funny to me. Hi, Kikado. Welcome. Good to see you. Oh my god. Okay. Today we're watching, or right now, today we're just like doing math stuff, and right now we're watching this this video, Donald Duck in Math Magic Land, just like this cool video from the 50s that had popped up on my timeline that I thought was cool. So far, it's actually been pretty fun, although there are a lot of scenes that just like go on and on and on, because that's shows and movies back then.
Q position. 3.5. How much is 3.5 minus 2?
1.5.
1.5.
Hey, it works! Oh boy! It's a six! If I hit it here, 3.5 plus 4 minus 3.
You're making it tough for yourself, Donald.
I love in there was 2 minus 2 equals 0.
How do you like that for mathematics, Mr. Spirit?
Wonderful, Donald. And now you're ready for the most exciting game of all.
Oh boy!
And the playing field for this game is in the mind. Uh-oh. Look at the condition of your mind. Antiquated ideas.
Dang.
Bungling, false concepts. Superstitions. Confusion. To think straight, we'll have to clean house.
Dang, he is just roasting the heck out of Donald.
There. That's more
I
like
think
it.
that
Nice, clean
perfectly encapsulates
This
so many
game is
people,
played
though.
with circles and triangles. Think of a perfect circle.
Especially the false concept stuff.
A perfect circle. Perfect circle. Perfect. Ah. Put a triangle inside and turn it. Now spin the circle.
I didn't
What have
like
you done?
how sensually he was saying perfect circle.
Yes, a sphere. The shape of things is first discovered in the mind. Slice off the top, and we have a
Contact lens.
A magnifying glass.
that's
Okay,
right.
that too.
A lens is a section of a sphere.
Yeah.
Instruments are created through mathematics. You see, there's a lot more to mathematics than just numbers and equations. Let's get back to our circle and triangle. Roll it, and we have a
A wheel.
The circle has been the basis for many of man's important inventions.
The basis. Linear algebra.
The mind can create the most amazing things.
See,
If we spin
this
the
is
triangle, we
why
have
AI doesn't do us a lot.
Slice the cone. The cone is full of useful mathematical shapes. Slice it again. Slice it
How was your
several
class?
times. The orbits of all
Fair,
planets
fair.
and satellites
And which
can be
class was
found
it?
in the cone. No matter how you slice it, it's always mathematics. A slice like this gives us the reflector of a searchlight. A slice like
Alan.
this, the mirror of a giant telescope. A line on a cone, and we have
Hurt
a
my
curve
eyes.
and a spring.
Uzumaki.
Now you're ticking.
Do you do the kind of thing where you cram all your classes into one day? Or do you just, are you the kind of person who just has like 5 classes?
The mind is the birthplace for all of man's scientific achievements. The mind knows no limits when used properly. Think of a pentagram, Donald.
You just keep popping out and then popping back into his head.
Now put another inside, a third, and a fourth. No pencil is sharp enough to draw as fine as you can think, and no paper large enough to hold your imagination. In fact, it is only in the mind that we can conceive infinity. Mathematical thinking has opened the doors to the exciting adventures of science.
I'll say you have 3 classes.
Each discovery leads to many others.
Go to Integral, and you have lots of stuff. Ooh.
What's the matter with these doors? Hey, these doors won't open. Get out.
50 electric
Of
circuits
course they
in
are.
control.
These are the doors of the future, and the key is
Mathematics.
right. Mathematics. The boundless treasures of science are locked behind those doors. In time, they will be opened by the curious and inquiring minds of future generations.
I do love some DE. I don't care for electrics.
Mathematics is the alphabet with which God has written the universe.
Dio. That was fun. I'm glad I watched that. It's a old school take. No, it's true though, because all the stuff is still holds of just like mathematics shows up in so many places. Mathematics shows up in in um in art, in science, in all forms of technology. And like I was saying earlier, it's just, it can be disheartening when you have people who, like, it's fine if you don't like math. It's fine if you don't like a subject. Like I just said, I'm not good with electrical. And that's fine. But it can be really disheartening when people will complain about how math is just plug and play, put in information, get an answer. Algebra is where math ends. It's like, no, it's not. And like even people I'll meet tons of people who will be like, oh, I would have been an engineer, or I love the engineering program if it weren't for the math. Like, come on. You don't like problem solving? It's great. It's such a great problem solving tool. It's so great for your brain. It's a shame. Make us, oh my god, that's loud. Make us feel happier, Hatsune Miku. Alright, the other thing I was looking at today was, I was wondering, so bioRxiv, I don't know if you know bioRxiv. bioRxiv is where papers that are under review for publication get put. And so they are not officially published, but you can generally find a lot of cool stuff, and they get updated as people update their work. Like, currently on another screen, I have my manuscript that's unmarketed that I need to update. But enough about that. I'm not putting off work by streaming. I figured I'd just go ahead and search in some of the interesting tabs for anything that could be fun. I picked numerical analysis at first just because I love numerical. But I'm curious what else they have here. Theory, logic, metric, mathematical physics. Numerical is where we are. Quantum algebra. Algebras are fun. Spectral theory, statistics, god, statistics is like one of the most useful tools, and it's something that I really need to just sit down and study again, because I use it in my work, and then people come to me and be like, hey, how do you do this statistics problem? And I'm like, yes. Specifically the stuff like Bayesian statistics. But anyways, let's go ahead and check out some numerical, because reading papers, I have fun with. No one else in the world does, but I do. That's not true. But analysis of a finite element method of PDEs in evolving domains with topological changes. This paper presents the first rigorous error analysis of an unfitted finite element method for a linear parabolic problem posed on an evolving domain, omega t, that may undergo a topological change, such as, for example, a domain splitting. The domain evolution is assumed to be C2 smooth away from a critical time t sub c, at which the topology may change instantaneously. To accommodate such topological transitions in the error analysis, we introduce several structural assumptions on the evaluation of omega t in the vicinity of the critical time. This assumption allows a specific stability estimate even across singularities. Based on the stability result, we derive optimal order discretization error bounds provided the continuous solution is sufficiently smooth. We demonstrate the applicability of our assumptions with the examples of level set domains undergoing topological transitions and discuss cases where the analysis fails. The theoretical error estimate is confirmed by the results of a numerical experiment. Woo! Got through that one. I've only taken one numerical course, and so I haven't gotten in depth as I really wish I had have. What are SDD1 matrices? In this paper, we propose a new scaling method to study the Schur complements of SDD sub 1 matrices. Its core is related to the non-negative property of the inverse M matrix while numerically improving the quotient formula. Based on the Schur complement in the novel norm-splitting manner, we establish an upper bound for the infinity norm of the inverse SDD1, which depends solely on the original matrix entries. We apply the new bound to derive the error bound for an error bound for linear complementary problems of B sub 1 matrices. Additionally, new lower and upper bounds to the determinant of the SDD sub 1 matrices represent a numerical benefit. Okay. You're in a 1 minute delay. Okay, I gotta figure out how to do that on my end. Let me do something real quick and see if I can fix the delay issue. Because I don't want that. Oh, now you're normal? Oh, okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. Because I know earlier Ran, when she was watching, she was having delays as well. And I want to make sure that's... Okay, whew. Ah! Aw. You're watching me outside of just sitting at home. Watching me in your free time, I am touched. Alright, let's go ahead and choose a paper. That sounds terrifying. This all honestly sounds intimidating. Mainly because it's full of stuff I don't know. But hey, you gotta learn somehow. Ooh, application of sensitivity analysis methods for studying neural network models. Ooh, and this has to like Resident 18. Okay, absolutely. You have my attention the second you mention neural networks. Really, you had my attention when you mentioned math in general, but hey, that's why I was here. I sought you out, you didn't seek me out. Okay. First, I am going to take an ice cube break. To eat ice. Cubes. I am. I'm just chewing ice. I have to stop myself from just eating tons and tons of ice every day. It's an addiction. Although I think the underlying source of it actually has to do with iron deficiency. Because as I recall, iron deficiency can lead to pica, which is the... Excuse me. Is the... I don't know how to describe it, but the condition where you have a craving to eat non-nutritious things. I am very glad that in my case it's a craving to eat ice. For some people it's a craving to eat paper, to eat dirt, to eat clay. But yeah, for me, I love crunching on ice so much. And that's really indicative of the fact that I need to be leading a healthier lifestyle. After the stream, I'm going for a walk. That's been my plan this whole time, so that's good. Because the thing is, like, I am not healthy, and I am out of shape, but it's in the underweight sort of way. I have always been underweight, although recently my underweightness has decreased, which is good. I've gotten better about just like consistent eating habits. And actually, I made myself a meal... Okay, you can't see it because it's on my wall, but I made myself a meal schedule so that I will hopefully alleviate those deficiencies. Ah, this piece of paper. This is an important piece of paper. Why'd this fall? I'll set that right there then. Good paper. Stay. Ah, crap. I forgot to have lunch today. Okay. After stream, I'll go for a walk, and then I'll have lunch. Then I will count that as being healthy. One thing I always do, though, stay hydrated. I'm very careful about that. I mean, yeah, I'm eating all this ice. It makes sense. Although I think I keep giving myself brain freezes. Ugh. Even now, I'm starting to get a headache. Anyways, yeah, I'm awake, I'm back, I'm focused. Okay. Application of sensitivity analysis methods for studying neural network models. This I'm really interested in, especially because I've been trying to get really into deep learning. Like, I've touched base on it before. But I really want to get into the nitty-gritty of it. And I haven't had a chance really to apply it a lot. And so that's why I'm like, oh, I wish I could make my own, like I want to design. A personal project of mine is actually designing a machine learning model, even though I've never technically taken a course on one, but I want to do that. Specifically for something like image analysis and signal processing, because that is my long-term love is signals. This study demonstrates the capabilities of several methods for analyzing the sensitivity of neural networks to perturbations of the input data and interpreting their underlying mechanisms. The investigated approaches include the Sobel Global Sensitivity Analysis. I don't know what that actually is. Oh, it's variance-based sensitivity analysis. Okay. Okay, sorry. Global sensitivity analysis. And sensitivity analysis in general is the study of how uncertainty in the output of a mathematical model or system can be divided and allocated to different sources of uncertainty in its inputs. Oh, okay, cool. That makes sense. Especially based off the name. Working with a probabilistic framework, decompose the variance of the output of the model or system into fractions which can be attributed to the inputs or sets of inputs. Okay. For example, the percentages directly interpreted as a measure of sensitivity. Measure sensitivity across the whole input space. They can deal with nonlinear responses and can measure effective interactions in non-additive systems. So this is really cool. Based off the variance of the output, you can determine the sensitivity of the input. All right, sweet. And so this paper is saying the investigative approaches included the variance-based sensitivity analysis, although called SOBL, Global Sensitivity Analysis, the local sensitivity method for input pixel perturbations, and the activation maximization technique. I assume they'll go into more depth in the introduction about what this is. And I'm assuming this is the local sensitivity method for input pixel perturbations. I assume you have a pixel, you have then, epsilon distance that you perturb away from it, and then that region is what you're looking at the sensitivity of to then determine how it affects the output. That's what I assume that would be. Again, I hope they go into a bit more detail onto that in the introduction. As examples, we consider a small feed-forward neural network for analyzing an open tabular data set of clinical diabetes data, as well as two classic C convolutional architecture, VGG16 and ResNet18. I'm familiar with ResNet18. This one gets used a lot in the work I've done when it comes to analysis of histology images, specifically. I'm assuming VGG16 is another that was maybe... Let's see what it was trained on. Visual Geometry Group. University of Oxford. 16 layers, 13 convolutional layers, and 3 fully connected layers. It's renowned for its simplicity and effectiveness, as well as... no one saw that. Context. So the context is just this paper is analyzing sensitivity analysis for different neural network models, and I was wondering, what is VGG16? Oh, histology is a type of medical imaging. I can even show you if you've ever seen what a histology image looks like. It's these. It's slices of tissue that you then analyze that are like under a... Ran? You didn't see anything. Slices of tissue that you then analyze. And so, like, my work has performed image analysis on this sort of stuff, and ResNet18 is the thing that a model that people use for hard math, use for that sort of thing a lot. So VGG16, including image classification and object recognition. The model's architecture features a stack of convolutional layers followed by max pooling layers with progressively increasing depth. This design enables the model to learn intricate hierarchical representation of visual features, leading to robust and accurate predictions. Despite its simplicity compared to its more recent architectures, VTG16 remains a popular choice for many deep learning experts for versatility and excellent performance. Object localization. So, something to point out about a lot of these images, or a lot of these, is that, oh, this is really cool. It has an in-depth of a breakdown of each layer. Lots of times, neural networks, their identification, in lots of places tends to be on real-world objects. If I have a picture of a dog and a cat, can it differentiate those? If I have a picture of a person in a park, can it separate the person from the grass? But then you look at a histology image like we saw, and it's just like pink and black splabble blops. So, you need something very robust when it comes to object detection, specificity, and differences of intensities in stuff like color values. Otherwise, it's just gonna be like, that blob is a blob, that blob is a similar blob. And not to say that those models don't exist. They do, they certainly do. Although they're also, because they're so sensitive, you'll get cases like where there was a model trained entirely on was it skin cancer, lung cancer, some sort of cancer, I forget. But all of the images had a little key in the corner that said, this distance is, 100 nanometers. And so, the model, all of the training data had that, and the model was unable to do anything with actual data because none of the test data, or none of the real-world data that didn't come from the training and testing set had those little rulers. And so it's that sort of thing where you need something that is that particular, but when you do, it's so particular that it's almost dangerous. It's volatile. It has to be adjusted with such micro levels of precision. And that's the thing where, for example, like denoising techniques can be a lot easier with something like, like I said, a picture of a dog and a dog and a cat. A dog, a cat sitting in a room, assuming that the floor is a slightly different color than the cat, and the floor is a slightly different color than the dog and cat aren't in a fleshy pile. Yeah, assuming that the cat and dog aren't fused together or morphed together in some sort of eldritch horror, you're able to pretty liberally use methods to find those differences. Because the dog is covered in brown fur, whereas the wall is white, whereas the cat's black and white, but the white from the wall is a completely different shade of white from the white on the cat. And so the differentiation between those intensities is so easy that you don't really have to worry too much. Like, you have to worry about it, but not to an extensive amount of the parameter tuning for those sorts of things. Medical imaging is a different beast entirely. That's the thing. So, In summary, neural networks for medical imaging have to be very good. I'm gonna save this for later. I'm very curious about VGG16. I'm curious how it works on non-obvious differentiation, because it has to be things that, like, we test on things that we would able to be seen by the naked eye generally. I think even in the VGG16 example, it was like a car driving through a dirt road. Because that's how we can determine, oh yeah, it's correctly identifying that. But at some point we have to do things that are not easy to identify in order for it to actually be useful. Otherwise, it's just useful for picking out, you know, things with AI in Photoshop, basically, which already is a color selection process. So, oh, your battery is low. Okay, if you have to head out, that is more than fine. But I thank you for stopping by, as always, Kikado. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, day, evening, morning, whatever it is for you. I appreciate it. Let's see. Heart-shaped face red, heart-shaped face red, heart-shaped face red, heart-shaped face red. It's funny, that's all that pops up is on the screen. We do! Alright. So, as I was saying, so the utilization of the global sensitivity analysis allows us, so again, global sensitivity analysis is, again, referring to our entire input space, allows us to identify the leading input parameters of the chosen tiny neural network. Tiny neural network? What does it mean by that? Allows us to identify the leading input parameters of the chosen, tiny neural network and reduce their number without significant loss of the accuracy. As far as global sensitivity analysis is not as... Wait. There's a reason this is on bioRxiv and not published yet. As far as global sensitivity analysis is not applicable to larger models, we try the local... I think this is a typo somewhere. As far as global sensitivity analysis is not applicable to larger models, we try the local sensitivity analysis and activation maximization method in application to the convolutional neural networks. Right. I think, okay, so what it's saying is just, when global sensitivity analysis isn't working, then we try the local sensitivity analysis and activation maximization method on the models. So you prioritize global sensitivity. If that doesn't work, you shift over to local sensitivity. Okay. These methods show interesting patterns for the convolutional models solving the image classification problem. All in all, we compare the results of the activation maximization method with popular grad-cam technique in the context of ultrasound data analysis. Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking a few. Okay, so let's see. At present, it is impossible to deny the pervasive influence of advances in machine learning, artificial intelligence, blah blah blah, linked to discovery, yes. Research in artificial neural networks, new training rules, exploring novel neural network architecture, expanding. At the same time, less attention is given to the development and methods to help understand the nature of the internal representations for the network solving the specific tasks. So this is something that I'm very big on too, so I'm actually really glad that I found this paper, and we'll go ahead and save it. Is that... Yep, it even says it right here. ANNs are often perceived by users as a kind of black box whose highly complex operations transforms the input data into the predefined outputs. In other words, it is not immediately clear how the weights of the ANN or the activation values of the hidden neurons are related to the processed dataset. Thus, unlike the classical statistical models, there is no straightforward approach to determining the influence of each explanatory variable on the dependent variable in a neural network. I cannot get over this. Especially in research, black box methods keep reporting these exceedingly high values. All right, these results that are like, oh wow, 90% accuracy. They're like, okay, how'd they do it? And they're like, oh, we used this model. I'm like, what's the model do? And they're like, models. Oh, why is my... Speaking of models, mine's not registering that I'm blinking. Recalibrate. Recalculate. Why don't you like me? What do you have against me, my model? Okay, how about now? So half the time it doesn't register, my model doesn't register that I'm blinking. Okay, well, that seems to be working now. Anyways, yeah, you end up in these situations where they don't give you actual information on what the model's doing. It's just like, yeah, the model's doing something. Can we have our publication now? or it can even be very vague, but I don't trust that, because first off, I like to know, it's not that I don't trust it per se. Yes and no. In one sense, yes, I am skeptical about it working perfectly because you don't know how it will work on future test data sets if you can't figure out why it's doing what it's doing. Additionally, that means that if you don't know why it does what it does, if it stays as a black box, then you're not able to apply that to new rule, or apply those weights, those biases to new situations. You're not able to take your results, really, and advance with it. It's really like this model becomes the be-all end-all. Okay, did this model succeed in what it was doing? Yes, then we can only use this model. No, then we can't use this model. It doesn't give us an avenue to then improve upon the model's work. And so I'm really glad that this paper is talking about this, because like my work even, the paper I wrote, our method is something that has technically been touched on before. Not to the same extent that we touched on it, but the method was then, the point of the paper was basically saying, okay, this is an important function for these models. Let's use more models going forward of this type. let's use these features to build future models and networks. I feel like that just gets lost all the time too. Anyways, let us continue. Gaining a deep understanding of their functioning and is becoming increasingly important and significant with the extensive use of reliance on neural networks. Numerous examples have long been known where relatively small perturbations in input data, known as adversarial attacks, impact the performance of neural networks and classification tasks. In this context, the sensitivity analysis of neural networks enhances their interpretability, helping to understand the mechanisms, how input features influence the output results. This may improve model Okay, I know it's a bioarchive. I know it's a bioarchive, and so it's not published, and so it's up for revision. This may improve model transparency and trustworthiness. I'm a big fan of this may improves. I'm gonna start using that. Seems like a bad situation, but if we change one or two things, then this may improve our prospect. Sorry, got distracted reading about the new Oblivion. That freaking was announced today and then launched today. Honestly, best move by Bethesda since forever. I didn't care for Fallout 4, and I certainly didn't like Fallout 76. I only played a bit of ESO, and guess what? It was mid. Alright, Anyways, this may improve model transparency and trustworthiness, sensitivity analysis, facilitates model structure, blah blah blah. Additionally, it eliminates redundant features, enhances training. Okay. Input strengthens defenses against adversarial attacks. Ultimately, the sensitivity analysis can be highly beneficial in practical applications for data collection and feature selection, which is particularly crucial in fields such as medicine. True. It also allows evaluating whether the model adequately captures causal relationships between input and output data and helps uncover hidden patterns, leading to valuable insights. Therefore, sensitivity analysis serves as a key tool for understanding, optimizing, and validating neural networks. I agree. Alright, so let's take a look at what they did. We're nearing 2 hours, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. Because like I said, I might call it on the earlier side, so I can go for a walk while it's still nice and sunny out. I have not eaten lunch today. I need to start eating lunch before a stream. This keeps happening to me. I'm like, I stream for an hour or two, and then I'm like, oh, what if I go eat because I'm hungry now? First, we take global sensitivity analysis. So what type of data are they using? Like an open data set, which includes factors such as pregnancies, glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness, insulin, BMI, diabetes, pedigree function, wrestling thing, an estimate of hereditary predisposition, and age. Final diagnosis of whether or not they have diabetes or not. The test and looks to predict the final diagnosis based off the available patient data. Okay, so it's using all of that to determine, do they have diabetes? Are they Wilford Brimley? Dataset, I'll trust how they select the data. But the selected neural network consists of 2 fully connected layers. The first layer is a fully connected layer with an input dimension of 8 and an output dimension of 10, followed by batch normalization and the ReLU function activation for nonlinear transformation. The second layer transforms the 10 features of the hidden layer into a single output, also using batch normalization. In the final stage, the model applies the nonlinear sigmoid function 1 over 1 plus e to the negative x, which compresses the output value into the range from 0 to 1, which is suitable for a binary classification. True, because then you just get to, essentially works as a probability weight. During training, binary cross entropy is used as a loss function. It's pretty typical from what I know regarding neural networks. That's the cross entropy loss. And the batch normalization function PyTorch for one-dimensional data is computed as follows. That scared me, Miku. So, okay, so we take the input data, calculate the mean and the variance. Normalize the data within 10 to the negative 5th. Fair. Apply the scaling parameters. Okay, so how are you? Oh yeah. Okay, so these will every time we use backpropagation, every time when we update the parameters, we'll update them based off this weight and this shift. Okay. Stochastic gradient descent and method with L2 regularization of the error function used to optimize the model's parameters in order to prevent overfitting. The formulas for updating the parameters with L2 regularization is as follows. Okay, so this is our gradient loss manipulated. Yeah, so you do your weight minus your, what's it called? Your parameter times your gradient. I'm not super familiar with how those sorts of things work in neural networks, unfortunately, and I want to do more with it, but that is a time for after the stream. Current weight parameter, yeah, learning rate, that's what it is. The gradient of the loss function with respect to the weights, and then the regularization coefficient. The neural network, the regularization coefficient is set to 0.001, and the learning rate is 0.01. Generally, this is what you want to see with these. In general, they're much lower. Oh, my head's blocking a lot. That reminds me, I need to set up a frame so that my stream can be in a little frame, and I can set up a border, and so I'm not blocking it as much. That's on my Toto. I need to write that down on my Toto. So anyways, that's all usual stuff. Syllable method for global sensitivity analysis. Alright, I'm not gonna go in super in-depth and all that, but what we are interested in is in there, drumroll please, our results. With PCA, numerical results. Do I have? Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and read their conclusion yet, and that should get a good example of what they did, because they do have some very interesting models by the looks of it, and it does range from more general images to more medical images, which is what I care about. Anyways, In this work, we explored several methods of sensitivity analysis for CNNs. At first, we showed application of the global sensitivity to a simple feed-forward neural network using the global variance method on a small data set of clinical diabetes data. Sensitivity analysis identifies 3 key parameters whose values significantly affect the classifier's performance. The results of the analysis align with a simpler assessment of assessment of the dataset using PCA, but the global sensitivity analysis provides a clearer ranking of the input variables by their importance. These observations could be useful for building reliable and interpretable neural network classifiers in the context of tabular data. Okay. Let's reread that because that sounded confusing. Explored several methods of sensitivity analysis, yes. Application of global sensitivity to a simple feed-forward neural network using the variance method on a small data set of clinical diabetes data. Sensitivity analysis identifies 3 key parameters whose values significantly affect the classifier's performance. Okay, so there are notable parameters that do affect how the data perturbation of the inputs affects the outputs on a global input space. The results of the analysis align with a simpler assessment of the dataset using PCA, but the global sensitivity provides a clear ranking of the input variables by their importance. Okay, so PCA is generating similar results, but their method is actually ordering them by importance of influence. Cool. These observations could be useful for building reliable and interpretable neural network classifiers in the context of tabular data. Okay. Increasing the input space dimensionality for neural networks requires a much larger number of quasi-random points for computing Sobel indices. One partial solution to this problem could be using parallel computing when performing Monte Carlo integration, although computational resources are still limited. That's just a problem in general, just especially by the nature of neural networks. As you have all these neurons, they have to interact with everything else, especially when you have any linear layers. And so it gets out of hand very quickly. Ugh. Another potential solution could be combining Sobel analyses with low-rank decomposition of the target function in the form of tensor trains. I'm not familiar with that. Tensor trains. 34. I'll have to check that out on my free time then. Application of the global sensitivity analysis method to CNNs like VGG16 is difficult even for processing the small images from the CIFAR10 dataset due to the significantly higher dimensionality of the input variables. That was what I was talking about earlier, where it's like you can only take in so much data because you can only take in so many points, because each point has to have so many neurons, and each neuron has to interact with every other neuron on linear layers. Gets crazy real fast. 32 by 3 images versus 8 for tabular clinical data. Instead, we present a local sensitivity analysis using heat maps with small random perturbations of input pixels and employing the activation maximization methods. A gradual decrease in the sensitivity of the hidden layers of VGG16 to local perturbations of input pixels was observed as the depth increased. So the presence... Okay, so as you got further into the hidden layers, the sensitivity of your initial input affected less and less. Okay, as your depth got larger, so I think as you so in theory, using a similar setup to VGG16, maybe those hidden layers are helping account for that, because we're taking these generalizations, not from a global space, but from a local space, then could be interesting. I don't see why it couldn't work. Presence of residual blocks in this ResNet 18 architecture helps to preserve... Wait, we go from VGG16. Oh wait, the ResNet 18 helps preserve the sensitivity of deeper layers to local perturbations of input images. At the same time, the activation maximization method clearly demonstrates that the VGG16 model effectively captures the contours of the classified objects, which appear sharper compared to the results for ResNet 18. Sorry, I'm just rereading that. Same time, a gradual decrease, yep, the presence of residual blocks in ResNet helps to preserve the sensitivity of deeper layers. Okay, so in ResNet 18, because of its structure with said residual blocks, we're able to preserve those perturbations to the initial input pixels. However, VGG16 effectively captures the contours of the classified objects, which appear sharper compared to the results of ResNet 18. Interesting. In the case of activation of images from the incorrect classes, we observe that the neural network mistakenly identifies the features, contours belonging to objects of another class. These results seem to be interesting for analyzing the properties and searching for the structure of adversarial attacks, which can lead to erroneous performance of neural network classifiers when processing images. Okay, so if you can identify these contours, again, you can identify those perturbations much stronger, which it says VGG16 is able to identify. But as you go further in to VGG16, you're losing, as I understand it, you're losing the sensitivity of those input parameters being perturbed. Finally, using the VGG16 model, we classified the clinical ultrasound images of the lungs, successfully distinguishing the COVID-19 bacterial pneumonia in normal lungs. The activation maximization method effectively highlights the medical features, although some boundaries might be mistakenly recognized as significant medical features could lead to misclassification. That's always dangerous. Therefore, additional pre-processing of image boundaries is a promising solution. Okay. Conducted research demonstrates the potential of a CNN in medicine and the possibility of using the activation maximization method to assess their scientific validity. Cool. Okay. So the main thing that stands out to me, though, is that misclassification is a big deal, especially when it comes to something like, for example, diagnosis regarding histology images. Really, anything cancerous. If I misclassify something as a specific type of, say, a great example is microsatellite instability, MSI, in histology images. In certain cancer types, my treatment entirely changes based off of whether or not something is MSS or MSI. So that misclassification is incredibly risky. And so that's honestly a pretty big fallback for something something like this regarding the neural networks. Anyways, I think that's a good place to call it for now. Let me switch back over to my... Okay, we're back. I think that's a good place to call it for now, just because I have stuff I want to do today, and I've been putting off some work I need to get done. Some reformatting of my own manuscript, as well as I should go for a walk. I should eat lunch. It is nice out. I should take advantage of it. Remember, stay healthy, drink water, hydrate. I'm trying to think of another 8 that facilitates healthy behaviors, but there's nothing in my head right now. Okay. Regardless, thank you all for thank you to all who stopped by. Thank you for all who chatted. Thanks all for watching. I will see you tomorrow, I think. I'll have to check whatever my schedule says. I think I'm off Thursday, but I don't think I stream Thursday. I think I stream tomorrow after I get back from work in the evening. Regardless, I will see you all then. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.